should have started. God, I'm so bad about that. I need to give one of you guys the freaking option record. So yeah, so what this stuff does is inflammation really starts in the intestines. You've heard of probably leaky gut. These are some key words, okay? And what happens, the spinal cord in a woman has 88 billion with a B nerve fibers. When men have about 83 billion. That's why you guys are smarter than us. Okay. You guys multitask better than I'm just serious, right? You guys have to have babies too. So keep the extra 5 billion because I don't want them that bad. I'm not that tough. Okay. But your intestines have more nerve endings than your spinal cord. Okay. And they call it the enteric nerve system. And it's kind of like the brain in your gut. Literally, it's the second brain in the body. So if you ever noticed how, as moms, most of you guys don't hear moms, right? If you have a bad thought, maybe, a feeling, do you ever notice that in your gut when you get that, if it revolves around your children or something? Now, have you ever eaten food that you know is not good for you, and then it alters your mood and how you're thinking?
Sugar.
Do you see the correlation? Right? So if you are stressed, whether mentally, physically, financially, eating wrong, that all affects that brain gut health. Now, what does that do? Well, your immune system, 70 to 80% of it lives in the immune system. Why? Because when you're eating stuff, and what do we eat? We eat all dead food, because when you cook your food, guess what happens? It's dead. You killed all the nutritional value. That's why Juice Plus, when they dehydrate this stuff, they're keeping the enzymes active in the foods as much and best as they can. Now, is there some die-off? Yes, there is. Do we know how much? Not exactly. But see, what enzymes do, enzymes are created in your pancreas. So if you blow out your pancreas, what's a major disease process that people have in this country?
Diabetes.
Absolutely. So if we could take stress off of the pancreas and it didn't have to make more enzymes and it had more energy, as you guys as moms, if your kids are healthier, do you have more energy to put towards your spouse and your house? And right? What happens when a kid gets sick? Does it deter from everybody else? You see what I mean? So if we can take stress off that pancreas, now the pancreas can do other jobs it's got to. Your pancreas also makes enzymes that kill cancer cells, by the way, guys. That's why they're finding cancer, pancreatic cancer in children so much earlier now. Never used to occur, guys, by the way, because of all the toxicity in the environment. And these children are having to fight toxicity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. That toxicity also creates inflammation. Everything leads to inflammation. Just know that. What Juice Plus does to keep this very simple, when you see any any disease process that ends in itis or osis, such as plantar fasciitis, bronchitis, that all means inflammation. And the way I like to explain this to keep it simple, that's a grease fire on your stove. It's a fire. That's what inflammation actually means in Latin. So the way you put the fire out is by eating fruits and vegetables. And that includes Juice Plus. That's like throwing baking soda on that fire. When you bring the inflammation down, the immune cells now can reduce. It's really wild. There's a term, it's slipping my mind, but like here, if you can see my hands, okay, if you have high inflammation, what should happen, this hand here, you want high amount of T cells in your immune system floating around. These guys just go all, gals go all throughout your body. They basically control your immune system cells. You have B cells, plasma, okay? And the B cells are foot soldiers. Now they're there, but you don't want them active because they make plasmids, okay, and antibodies that nuke stuff. So the T cells are the generals. They're the parents, okay? When your body's immune, when you're inflamed at the gut level, these do this. So if you guys got a splinter in your arm, you would have acute inflammation. Do you guys know what I mean when I say acute? Okay, that's good You want your immune system cells to go where that little is, because you just got poked. Your veil is poked. Microbes can enter. It's all over your skin. So you want your immune system to go there and kill that stuff and create inflammation, all these other processes. But we don't want low-grade chronic inflammation. Now, what are signs of this? Joint pain, headaches, putting on belly fat, poor sleep, memory reduction, hyperactivity, mood swings, cravings. Literally, honestly, anything you can think of, I'm telling you that's what this is, okay? So you just have to figure out how to communicate to the person that you're talking to, right? So what happens when these B cells go up, they start blasting everything with those antibodies, and that causes more inflammation to attract more immune cells. And then they bring in more plasmids and all these things, and they keep making more and more inflammation. So now, if you picture your body as your home, and let's say you have, I don't know, let's say you have 10 rooms in your house, right? And let's say, though, in a healthy home, your kid caught a freaking electrical outlet on fire in the front corner of your house. That would be an acute inflammatory issue. That's good. So we would go in there, we would clean that thing up. But with chronic, your whole house is caught on fire. So now the fire department comes in, they destroy and nuke everything. Does that make sense so far? What Juice Plus does, if the immune system's out of balance and the T's dropping the B's, they do this, they bring it back. So when you're seeing like asthma and allergies and autoimmune cases, guys, every person I'm telling you that you know have autoimmune gut issues. Autoimmune all starts in the intestines, and auto means self, immune is system, your immune system. It means your body is attacking some of its parts. And I have seen this multitude of times. If you have somebody who has learning challenges, if they're on psychotropic drugs, you're like 88% more likely to commit suicide on those drugs, by the way. And I'm telling you, when they start taking these products, they're freaking gut health. Like, I used to have really loose stools all the time. My stool went firm. Your poop is a direct correlation of your health. 100%. People that are really constipated, they start going like crazy. They're backed up. Make sure people are drinking enough water. I had a guy drinking 8 cups of coffee a day, and he would drink nothing but pop and wouldn't drink water. So you should drink half your body weight in water a day, in ounces. Okay. When they're not doing that, you can't get this stuff where it needs to go. Okay. So I just wanted to make some sense of some of those things, but there's tons of research on this, like University of Arizona, UCLA, they've all shown this. If you have somebody's immune system and it's like really weak and they get sick all the time, the thing I love about Juice Plus, it's not a treatment. It's not like it's not a this for a that. It's just food. And so what happens is now if their immune system shut down all the time, it boosts it back up to where it should be. It just gives the body what the body needs, And so if somebody's having a lot of people are so sickly, you might have to reduce the load sometimes with them too. You know what I mean? Just start them with half of a dose. Okay. And that's totally fine as well. But just, we can work. If you have cases like that, reach out to me and I can get on the phone with you guys and help, guide that case and stuff like that. And just give them the love that they need up front so we can help them. And if they give it the time, they'll see amazing changes. I've seen it over and over again. I've seen this stuff so powerful. One of my first patients I put on this, she had Graves' disease, hyperthyroidism, or hypo in her case. And when she started taking this, she'd been on thyroid meds for so long. Well, our medications, are they toxic, or do they increase health and well-being, or do they create side effects and symptoms? And I've never had somebody that wants to take drugs, guys. And I'm not bashing drugs. I mean, I understand there are times where people just have to have those. You know what I mean? And that's totally understandable. But what I tell people, the reason that there's side effects and symptoms is because drugs are toxic. They're made from petroleum, from oil, like no BS. And so are 98.5% of all multivitamins. Okay. So, what happens, this woman started taking Juice Plus, and right here where this is where your thyroid is, She got a rash from where, not kidding you, from where the body detoxed and was pushing that out of the skin. So, and I've had people sometimes will get like a little rash when they start taking Juice Plus. That's not bad. That's actually really good. See, that's the body's way. The way your body gets rid of toxicity is by urination, it's by feces, it's by sinuses, it's through your skin. Your skin makes up 16% of your body weight. It's the largest excreting organ in the body. So if you're prepared and this happens, at least if I make you aware of what can happen, and these are extreme cases, but if you, Lisa, you put somebody on this product and they get a rash, if you didn't know that, you're going to be like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And so what people do is they'll put something on the rash. Well, when you put something on the rash, you're stopping the body's ability to get it out. So you push the toxicity back into the system. See, if you got food poisoning, you're going to keep vomiting until you get rid of the food, right? Does that make sense? Like we didn't know that we took bad food or we wouldn't have ate it consciously, but our unconsciousness knows that, our subconscious. So he's trying to get rid of it. But we're taught in America to take something to make us feel better, right? So my point is know what the body's doing and know the body knows exactly what to do. Always. It's always going to protect you. So I just kind of want to make you guys aware of some of it. Does that make sense? Am I going too off the page here with this stuff?
My son has asthma as well, same son, and he has been, today's Saturday, so for 7 days I've been having to give him his rescue inhaler and treatments. So he takes allergy medicine every day and, cough, cough, cough. So I'm really anxious to see what happens when he starts taking, these
Yeah.
two. So yeah, he was on prednisone 6 times last year.
Oh my God. Well, Monica, didn't you have kind of some of the, Monica, her kids were sick quite a bit, weren't they, Monica, too?
Yeah, my youngest, I don't know, I think I was in the doctor's office like every 2 weeks. And I mean, I even said to her, I said, do I need to go to a specialist? Like a person should not be sick. And she was like, no, I mean, it's 6 to 12 times a year that they should be sick. And she was on this for like 6 months before we went into like our winter season. And I didn't have to take her to the doctor. I mean, she was like a couple days, she had some illness, but yeah, I mean, it's really, it's really made a big difference in her health for sure.
It's so simple, guys. I mean, my big head, I'm telling you, when I started this, I thought it'd be more complicated. This is what God designed us to eat.
Mhm.
Lisa, what I would do too, honey, when you put in your order, I would do like what my family, I'll tell you guys what I do. Okay. I do the quad for me, my daughter, and my wife. And you can even take extra, Lisa. I wouldn't start that way with them. You know what I mean? Because what I mean by like my daughter, every day, I take the capsules, I open those capsules and I pour them in a shake it up. She eats that. And then she does her serving size of the gummies. Now you'll get the free children's health study, Lisa, which is the fruits and the veggies. The berries are another, I think, $12.50 to add for a child in gummies. And then I would do omegas with him for sure too, because the omegas are like, they're going to bring out inflammation. They're going to help with brain health, immune system rebalance, gut health, joint. They're freaking amazing. You know what I mean? And my daughter eats those. She literally pops them in her mouth and chews them up and eats them. They taste like an orange. Yes. Yeah. And you can take extra. So let's say, he's just having a terrible, rough time. He's got a lot of drugs in his body from a lot of years. Okay. So, and it is what it is. So sometimes the body will start kicking that out. Like I remember when I would take care of asthmatics, I would start adjusting them and they would like instantly off of inhalers. I mean, it was so easy to see, honestly, Lisa. And then but they might have a big breakout one time. And it was kind of like the body is just trying to get rid of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's turning everything up and it's trying to get it out. And it can be kind of scary. You know what I mean? If you don't know what it is. So if something like just throwing the worst case scenario out, something like that ever happens, you just call me. You know what I mean? And we'll walk you and get you through that and stuff. Okay. And you should definitely, what I would do, Lisa, if you find a chiropractor where you're at that treats children, world of difference in your family, honey. Like my whole practice was children. My little girl's been adjusted since she's 5 months old. I take care of Monica's kids. Misty's husband's a chiropractor. It's a total lifestyle shift, but we're about prevention, which everybody is. They just don't know. you know, and this is why Juice Plus makes sense to so many chiropractors, because it's not a treatment. It's so simple. You know, I mean, Dr. Jason's here. Thank you. I didn't see it, brother. But I mean, he could tell. I mean, God, what have you seen in your practice with stuff like this, guys, in your guys' office? You know what I mean?
This is the little guy.
Oh,
Hey,
hey, buddy.
buddy. What's up? What's up, handsome?
I wanted to share really quick too. They're not, the omegas are not chewables. I think you asked that, but it kind of cut out. I don't know if Dr. Kenny heard that. So you can chew them,
Yep.
but they're not chewables. They're not like the gummy version of the fruits and vegetables and berries you can get, but they have a little bit of an orange flavor to them. They don't taste terrible or anything. I had my kiddo try it. He didn't like it, but you know, he's 16, almost 17. So he doesn't like to take the capsules, but he can do it. So I'm going to do that instead. But you can open them up and put them in the shakes and stuff too, because that's what I do a lot of times with my kids. Like if they're getting, because once they become teenagers, they go, oh, we're fine. And they have a bowl of cereal and like, no, eat dinner. And they come in at 9 o'clock from wherever they were. And it's a little messy. So I'm like, get a shake. And so I'll get a Juice
You don't
Plus
know
shake.
anything, Misty.
I know.
Yeah.
So they'll get a Juice Plus shake, and then you know, you can put that stuff in those too. Like it really does blend in well with those things. So just
I've seen moms too take those and pop them and put them in raspberries. You know how raspberries kind of got a, you know what I'm saying, Lisa, too? Yeah. So you can get as creative as you want. I had my daughter, she just, thank God it worked, but I had her just pop them in her mouth and start chewing them. And at first she would chew and she's been doing this for 2 or 3 years now, Lisa. 2+ years, excuse me. And she would spit the capsule out when she was done. She would suck the stuff out, you know, and then eventually I got her to eat the whole thing. And she loves it. She'll eat that before she'll eat the freaking chewables. I mean, it's so hilarious. You know what I mean? She started off loving the greens. Now she fights me on taking the greens, and she loves the reds and you know, that type of thing. So, but it's just, with me, I'm like, that's why I open the capsules and pour it in the shakes. So I know she's getting it, even if she sneaks out and doesn't get the freaking chewables. You know what I mean? So,
Can I ask one more question?
of
Sorry.
course. Yeah.
Things. So when both of them, so they both love bananas, but when they eat them, they get a rash around their mouth. Their mouth itches. The doctor said it's not harmful. It's just a thing.
Yep.
It also happens to my daughter when she eats apples. Can you tell us like what's going on there?
That's just a reaction. My wife gets the same thing with kiwi.
Okay.
And I used to get in like kiwi and strawberries, some berries with her. It's really funny though, Lisa, with this stuff, you really don't see that. Do you, Dr. Jason, in your practice, it's designed to get into the gut. And then that brings down an inflammation, Lisa, and then the immune system rebalances. It's just a immune system reaction in the mouth, because digestion starts in the mouth. Most people don't understand that. So if you can bypass it and get the good stuff down there, it doesn't, like, I mean, I used to literally, my jaw, like my throat would lock up, and that's gone. I mean, so, you know what I mean? But, you know, be cautious, you know what I mean? Like when he's taking it, just, you know, see and stuff, just for a mother's perspective, calm you down, right? So you know how it is. You got to work a mom through that, because you guys are on high alert all the time. You know what I mean? So God bless you. That's the beauty of this, guys. The most important thing in our business is when you get a mom and their child's life changes, watch out. Like I'm telling you right now. I mean, shoot, Misty and Jason, I mean, what about your son and their tics? Like this is, and we'll explain this too, but would you share that, Miss?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our twins, he developed tics, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years old, probably right around there. And we noticed it, maybe a little older. We noticed it when he started playing basketball and just like a fun league. And he would do like this thing where he'd roll his neck, and he would do it constantly. And we're like, that's like the worst thing for a chiropractic kid. Right? Like, stop doing that. So,
Not a good billboard at the time.
So
You're just that kid wrong, Dr. Jason. You know.
So he started, it would shift and he would sniff. Then he would blink like this. And so he had a few tics, and
When Misty says that he would sniff, he would literally sniff 30 to 40 times in a minute sometimes.
Wow.
It was-
especially when he was stressed.
And it
or-
would drive his brothers crazy.
Yeah. Or when,
Absolutely crazy.
when we're driving, he's like, oh my God, like we're driving on long trips and he starts sniffing. You go, oh no, can't we do one of the other ticks right now? You know, so one of the silent ones. But anyway, so we tried, you know, we did obviously the chiropractic and we tried stress relieving activities with like breathing and visualization, and that helped, but it never really got rid of it. We also tried supplements. We heard about a few different, like I think it was magnesium, calcium,
I don't remember that
and
one.
omegas. And so we tried that. And again, it helped a little, but it didn't really seem to alleviate the problem. And so our doctor told us he'll just grow out of it or he won't. And we didn't want to accept the answer, right? So that's just his pediatrician that we see once a year.
As a
but,
parent, you know,
yeah.
or won't is not an option.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because you want your kid to not go through life with that kind of thing and people judging and making fun and you know that'll alter them. So we didn't want that. So once we started Juice Plus, so it took a while, took a little while,
A few months.
I noticed the biggest difference when he switched to the capsules though.
Mhm.
So he was on the gummies and that was good. And once he switched to the capsules, it's almost completely resolved. So he still does it occasionally, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah, once every 3, 4, 5 months, you might see him doing something, but
Yeah.
it's so rare anymore.
The reason too, Lisa, like what I always try to do, and I want to piggyback on what they said with the capsules, the way when they process the gummies, the chewables, it denatures more of the enzymes. Okay, that's naturally found in those foods. So when you do the capsules, less of that's damaged. And that's what I was saying earlier, how it takes for stress off the pancreas. Okay, because the pancreas has to make the enzymes because nobody's eating live food. If you're not eating a salad right off the vine, you're not getting enzymes. And that's why everybody starts breaking down. They don't have energy even after they eat. It's costing them more energy to eat, right? And stress out the immune system again. So this is what kind of happens. Now, the reason, do you guys know why there would be a reduction in ticks in their son? Like, I don't want you to memorize things. I want you to understand. Do you guys know why there would be a reduction in the ticks?
Because you've reduced the inflammation in the brain.
Exactly. 100%. See, the brain controls the function of the body, right? And so when you're seeing like learning challenges in kids, hyperactivity, guys, that's inflammation in the brain. That's exactly what Alzheimer's, dementia, and schizophrenia are, just to name a couple brain disorders in adults. It's just early signs. Okay. And so we have studies on this that you can look this up. Lisa, Oxford, Durham, I think it was. They did a study in like 2005. And Misty, did you have some things that you needed to share too? I'm sorry. Or do you guys just
I
want
just wanted to share something. Because in case anybody else has this question, it's right along the lines of what
Please.
we're talking about today. I reached out to the company this week because my new partner, she's just about done with school to be a naturopath. And she was asking about prebiotics and probiotics in the products. So we used to put probiotics in the capsules and we don't do that anymore. But I want to tell you what, or maybe it was the other way around. Shoot. Hold on one second. I'm going to pull up the message. So we no longer are using any probiotics in our capsules. The complete shakes do contain prebiotics. So just so you're aware, there's a small amount of prebiotics added to the shakes, but it's not, it's a smaller amount than what you would get in a prebiotic supplement. So her question to me was, if I want to put someone on a prebiotic, I need to know if it's in your shakes already, if I'm giving them those, because I don't want to give them too much. And so there's a little bit in there, but not enough to fulfill a full supplement of what you would give somebody. They can't give you the full amount because that's part of their proprietary blend and they don't want to share those things. But just so you're aware, there's no probiotics and there's a small amount of prebiotics in the shakes, in case anybody else asked that question, because it was one I didn't have the answer to.
And guys, probiotic is when you're pro means for. That means you're actually introducing bacteria into the gut. Okay, that's what that means. Pre means you're actually feeding the bacteria that are already there. So we all have bacteria in our gut. We just have the wrong ratios. If we're heavy, if we're inflamed, and this and that, because we're eating the SAD, standard American diet. But Juice Plus fruits and vegetables Those are prebiotics. Fiber, that's what that stuff is. Like plant fiber, those act like priests. They actually feed the bacteria that are already there that you want, that are in lower ratios, and they start to recolonate. And then they push the others down and out. That can be part of the detox too. When people get rashes or they're dying, you know, people start peeing a lot. You'll hear that. They'll start peeing a lot more, you know, and sometimes people's numbers in diabetes will jump up. Their sugars will initially, but it'll stabilize out. And the reason being is because the metabolism's getting a boost. So your metabolism can't reset until you bring inflammation down. When you do, that's why people start to lose weight on Juice Plus. We don't promote that. Okay. But a lot of times they'll lose weight because you're reducing inflammation and the metabolism goes, wow, I can actually, the body was robbing Peter to pay Paul. So now it's got more energy to ramp itself up and start to heal itself again. Does that make sense? Go ahead. Yeah, Kathy.
Take him out.
Yes, ma'am, Kathy. You guys like learning this stuff? Is that okay?
It's great. I can say that I had a patient of mine that she jumped on Juice Plus, had all kinds of like crazy inflammatory things going on where she get rashes all over her body. And she was on it for, I think it was just a month. And that was the only thing she changed. Ate the same, still wasn't exercising, nothing else changed. She lost 9 pounds that month when she started.
Yep. It just kicks everything out. It's in the reason that you get rashes, like Dr. Jason was saying, your fat cells store all those toxins in them. It's like a big closet in your house. You just throw all the crap in. See, your body is so amazing. It knows it doesn't want this stuff floating around, destroying all your organs through the bloodstream. So it takes those toxins and puts them in these fat cells to lock them up. Now, what happens, you know, you've heard of keto, maybe diet, keto flu. What the keto flu is, remember how we said you store all the toxins in the fat? So when people start eating fat and they quit eating carbs, carbs quit converting into fat. So then the body starts burning the fat and living off the fat. What also dumps the toxins out. And those people can't eat fruits because there's sugar in them, right? And guess where your antioxidants to protect your body are? Your vegetables, fruits, and your berries. So now they're dumping all this crap into their organs and their system and they have no protection. Wouldn't it make sense to get something like Juice Plus if they remove most of the sugar and the fiber and you're getting the protection of the antioxidants in the bloodstream? The baking soda to neutralize the acids being dumped so they don't go through a keto flu. They can keto adapt faster. Do you see how, like, I want to take all these different topics and just branch them together. But she was dumping so much junk out of her cells, and she probably could have taken more. Now, to get her to do that, she's probably, in her mind, if they don't understand this, they're going, I'm not taking more. Hell, look at what I'm going through right now. You remember how I was talking about bad food and your body will vomit it up if you eat bad food?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that. So I eat as much as I can if I ever get food poisoning, as fast as I can, so I can get the crap out of me. Where most people, I don't want to feel bad. Dude, I want it out. So if I can get over that crap in 6 hours versus 2 days, that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a weird guy like that. You know what I mean? But like most people won't do that. But I understand what the body's doing. So I push myself through that. That's just me. You know, in years of studying this stuff, like Dr. Jason and Misty, when you're in a chiropractic household, it's usually a little bit different. Like we don't even have aspirin in my house. You
Yeah,
can
we
ask
don't.
on that. I haven't had a drug in my body since I was 14. Not even aspirin. Swear to God. Well, alcohol, coffee, those are drugs. You know what I mean? But
I have a question.
yeah, go ahead, Kat.
Okay, sorry about that. We're taking care of a neighbor's dog and
Yeah, no, you're fine.
they got a little bit excited. So Lance and I are looking for something that's like a 7-day detox, a good one to like just get all the toxins out.
Misty's already
And
got it.
so we've done like 28-day detox. That's done very well. And because you can't lose, I mean, we were told, you know, you can't release the pounds if your body is filled with toxins. So you got to get the toxins out to lose more weight. Because I've lost like 9 pounds and I'm like at a stick. As you know, I can't lose no more. And I know why, you know, because it's been a year that I've done a 28-day detox. So I need recommendation because we're ready to move forward and jump with it.
Yeah, go
I'd love
ahead.
to share the Shred 10 with her?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, and then you can add on. But so I want to tell you, Kathy, sometimes we all go through like these ebbs and flows of, I'm doing really good, I'm eating really good. And then, and so I've been in a bad flow maybe about a month ago. I was just not eating exactly how I knew I should. And then guess what happens? I end up with bloat. I end up not feeling great. And I go, okay, I need to get my act together. Well, what I have done, and I've done this twice with Juice Plus, 3 times with Shred 10, is it's basically shredding for 10 days is about shredding bad habits, not weight necessarily. But you will, as a side effect, lose weight. I know I have, and I don't have a lot of weight to lose, but I still lose a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds each time I do this. So, and I know other people have lost more. What you do is you take a shake in the morning. That's your first thing you do. And then you have a whole food snack mid-morning, like 10:30. You can do a whole food, like a real piece of food, or you can do one of the bars from Juice Plus, which is what I do. Then you can have another shake at lunch. And then you have a whole food snack mid-afternoon. And then you have a healthy meal before 6 p.m. or by 6 p.m. And then you don't eat again after. You remove all sugars, all dairy, all alcohol, all processed foods, all
Coffee.
caffeine. Yep. So you remove all of that from your diet, and you're basically just eating super clean, right? So when you do that, you are giving your body a break from all of the toxicity in the foods that you're normally consuming. And from the drugs, from the caffeine and alcohol, things like that, right? So I will tell you the first few days, you're in the bathroom, right? Because your body's going, ooh, we're getting rid of this stuff. This is cool. So you're in the bathroom a little bit. But then after that, my body just feels lighter. My system feels good and I feel lighter. And you do that for 10 days. And really what you can live like this and eat like that, and it's good for you too. But it sets you up with better habits is what it's doing. And then you stick with those habits. And I noticed the first time I did it, I kept the weight off for a really long time. And that wasn't even my goal, but I kept it off for a long time because I changed my habits. I was eating better, making better conscious choices. 10 days isn't enough to really get into a true habit of something. So you want to continue making those better choices for your snacks and for, your meals. And when you're hungry, if you do that shake first and go, well, and even if sometimes I just tell myself, if I do my shake and I'm still hungry, I'll eat something, right? But I'm not, because the Juice Plus shakes are so filling because of all the fiber, and they're adding even more fiber, which I'm excited about. And most of the time I found when I do this, if I am hungry, all I really need to do is have a drink of water. I'm not really hungry. My body is telling me I'm hungry because I'm used to having snacks, and I'm used to doing that when I'm bored or when I'm, I need some kind of emotional fulfillment. So drinking a glass of water, even if you put a little lemon juice in it, squeeze a little lemon in it, that really helps. But that's a great way, and you'll really go, I really wasn't hungry. And it's kind of just that paradigm shift too, which is
Try breathing like diaphragmatically, if you know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
Even before you take a drink of water. But if you replace that, like Missy's saying, with food, because you're not, because you're going to start building, you're going to live off guys, if you guys go into keto at all, like your glycogen, which is sugar storage in your muscles and liver, you get about 2,000 calories. The most conditioned athletes on the planet are probably like 5% body fat. Like they lift their shirt up and you see veins in their abs. They store 40,000 calories in fat reserves, and they don't even have fat reserves. So we're actually designed to, and that's what this is doing. Is just basically you're kicking all the process. Guys, when you're eating out of a box, they load it with sugar. There's so much hidden sugar. The average American, I'm going to do a video on this again, in 2 weeks eats a 10-pound bag of sugar. It's crazy. Go ahead.
I followed this couple who tried to do a 30-day sugar detox. No sugar. You got to read the cans. Beans have sugar. McDonald's French fries are dipped in sugar so that they golden brown.
Yep.
It's crazy the amount of sugar. And we can get you a ton of cool recipes for those shakes, because you don't just have to mix it with just ice and water. There's a lot of really great recipes out there.
Laura does this all the time too. Her and Misty, they're your go-to on this, not me.
So we
The-
could do it
the-
for we could do it for 28 days then.
You can do it the rest of your life.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? It's one of those things where they're like the bars are their food. That's the beauty of this, right? See, I always kid people to get them to think, and I'll say, if God wanted us to eat out of a box, the boxes would grow in the trees, right? But we're so conditioned to eat out of a box. That's what people do.
Could y'all give me some snack ideals? I mean, like I do almonds and what else?
Yeah,
What's
you
some-
want to do if you want to be clean, you want to do like raw almonds. Okay. But here's I'm being really picky right now, guys. But
No,
when you
I
do-
want you to.
when you do raw, what happens when you roast and cook stuff, you took the good omega-3 fatty acids and turned them into inflammatory fatty acids. So the real way to get true goodness out of almonds is you crack the almond yourself and eat it.
Oh, okay.
You get what I mean? Like, honestly, like I'm just
Real,
go to
real.
the source, right? Okay. So that's why the Tower Garden is so powerful for
We're
salads.
putting ours together today
Awesome.
and I'm taking pictures and
Yep.
everything.
This
It's in our
thing,
garage. Yeah,
it's
we're ready,
amazing.
right?
The food taste
Ready?
is so good. Like it's
Kathy, try to do a slow motion or what is that progressive?
time lapse.
Time lapse video.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Yes, yes, yes.
I know, so one of the snacks that, some of the snacks that we do are apples with a little bit of peanut butter. I know people are often try to buy the better stuff. You can do almond butter too.
Yeah, we have almond butter.
Yeah.
You know, even better, cashew butter.
Avocado butter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, avocado butter.
Make sure when you guys
Love
are getting these things, you want to get cold pressed.
it. Cold press. Okay.
It's more expensive and organic, but the reason being is they're actually pressing it. Okay. If you don't see cold press, they use chemicals to extract the oils out of the plants.
This is
What about when you go to the store and they have the almonds sitting in the bin, the raw almonds sitting in the bin, you turn it on and it makes it the almond butter like right there. By grinding it, is that okay? Or
It's would yeah. I mean, but the thing is though, is there's still all of it's going to be rancid to a point, guys, because that's why our capsules, the omegas, those are oils. They're cold fused because when you heat something, you destroy it, you cook it. And they put a nitrogen bubble. When you look at them inside, the nitrogen preserves the oils. So when air hits something, it oxidizes, it rusts it. That's why your potato chips, if you leave the bag open, go stale. You follow me? So
apple brown.
yeah, so the more air you can get out, things will last long. I mean, so these are things that people know, but they're maybe just not aware of. But you can go down a good book to read to kind of help you get like a basis of some of this stuff that I would recommend
we use.
is The Bulletproof Diet by Dave Asprey. And what it is he gives you options. He'll teach you like, here's the worst option. Here's the okay one. Here's the better one. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be out, you're going to be with family and friends. Things are going to happen, right? You know what I'm saying? But you can at least know how to make better choices with products. Okay. And he does a really good job in that. And then The Grain Brain's a phenomenal book too, guys, by Perlmutter. A phenomenal book.
I have a really good, oh, I'm sorry. I have a really good detox spaghetti recipe
Okay.
that we make our spaghetti sauce from red peppers.
Nice.
And, because sugar got so much, spaghetti sauce got
has
so much sugar in it. And I made it when we were on the detox like that. And then like we did the fried rice with cauliflower
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's good.
and with
you make it right.
sauteed shrimp in there. Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to share the detox spaghetti recipe
Good.
because it's with vegetable noodles
Mhm.
and it's really, really good. It's time consuming because you're having to make the sauce and, prep
just
it
make
and
a ton of it,
everything
right?
since it's out of
Freeze it.
peppers.
Make a ton
Yes.
and freeze it, right? Yeah.
Because we like
We
to
can do
prep our meals
attraction
on
marketing
Sunday.
with this stuff. This would be great. You know what I mean, guys? Like we could
Yes.
literally like
Mhm.
do stuff like this and give people value and let them see it. You know what I mean?
I think too, Kathy.
What about ghee?
that
Is
you prep you do prep work on Sundays, cut up your vegetables and put them in a little bit of water in the refrigerator or just, you have carrots or whatever you've got, have those ready for your snacks. Because what I found is if my snacks,
Yeah.
it's easier to grab something that's processed. That's probably what I'm going to do. So make sure you have, easily accessible cucumbers, carrots, celery, whatever, those kinds of things for your snacks too.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
We buy
I
a lot of
love
celery.
carrots. I love,
We do a lot of celery and stuff like that, and cucumbers, and dip them in hummus or, guacamole or whatever, right?
The celery's great for a substitute for croutons. If somebody's like, they like that crunch on their salad from croutons, I like celery because it's crunchy and that
Absolutely.
takes the place of the crunch. And it's good. I like celery. Anyway.
Same thing is true when you're sitting down at night to watch TV and you want something crunchy that have it. You can do carrots, you can do celery and those kinds of things instead of potato chips or something else. That's not
Mhm.
healthy.
It's just all changing the habit, right? Yeah, I mean, that's all. We all know this. You know what I mean? But you don't.
yeah,
really
that's a
find-
paradigm. Watching
it's-
TV.
Oh, it's
That-
so addicting. You know what I mean?
Because you're thinking, I don't watch TV for that reason, because it's very addicting. But now I'm working at the computer more, and now I'm thinking, okay, and so
Because
that's.
she has to stop in between keystrokes to do it. So.
But I do have my weights here in between calls that I do weights.
Nice. That's classic. Oh, Kathy, we were going to have you do that thing. Man, it's over time. We need you to do that thing at the attraction. What were we talking about the other night?
Was it
How-
Facebook stories?
Yes.
Stories.
Is it people have time? Like 5? Do you guys have time for this?
It's already 9:04. You still want to do it?
Let's do it next Saturday.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, because I want you to share that. I thought that was really awesome on how to do that. Does anybody else have any more questions? Did you guys like this morning?
Oh, I love this. Yeah. This.
It's my
Yes.
favorite part.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll try to create it. Maybe Dr. Jason too, you can teach some science with us and stuff and bring like something, some articles and stuff. Let's do that, man. Okay. You guys just aren't hearing it from me or whatever, you know what I mean? But any ideas, guys, let's just free for all and just learn from each other. And, because it's going to resonate with some person versus another. And hey, who cares? Just as long as people are getting value and they're, it's making sense and they can reach out and share it and change lives. You know what I mean? So
There's so
One
many,
more-
so many ways to do, like you said, attraction marketing and just, not only curiosity posts without talking about actual Juice Plus or the name of the products or anything like that, but just there's good content all around this for attraction and curiosity marketing. So this is fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nick, Kenny, one more thing. I should have said this at the very beginning, but I want to welcome Lisa to the team because she's a partner now. So I'm sorry I didn't do that, Lisa, at the very beginning. We had some dog problems over here. So anyway, so we want to welcome her.
Awesome. Yeah. I can't wait for you to start on those too, Lisa, with your son and stuff.
I started mine. I've had things they can't. I've just been nervous about the allergy factor. But I'm gonna start them with one. I'm just gonna start with berries,
Yep.
and I'll do it a few days, and then I'll add in the other.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
it's food, and when you do, does he have the chewables?
He does.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. You'll be good.
Yeah.
And if you just appease your mind, Lisa, just chop one of the berries up in a quarter. Give him a quarter of it. You know what I mean? But he'll be totally fine. Once you see that, you know what I mean? You'll be able to decompress a little bit as a mom. So,
I'm a bit of a helicopter mom, so.
my wife is too. We went through something. I get it. It drives me nuts, but I'm also appreciative because she looks at things a lot different than I do. So you don't know until you have your own, right? So what's going to be amazing is when this changes his life and your life. Watch out.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're over, so I apologize. He's already, academically, he's made strides. When he was diagnosed, he couldn't talk. He literally had no words. There was no eye contact. So we had to teach him hand over hand how to point. He wasn't waving. He didn't know how to stack blocks. And so I left my job and stayed home with him. And he's made leaps and bounds academically. But he's very hyper and he just has a lot of energy. And he has this these like little dots on his skin. And he always complains about his stomach and he has the asthma. And so there's just all these little pieces where I feel like he's done so well. If we can just fix inflammation,
Right.
if we can fix that, wow, what a poster child for what's possible. You know,
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm super excited for your journey. I just want
Yeah,
to say, I don't think you're here by accident. You were meant to meet this group of people, and I believe your son is going to be totally feeling better.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You guys are awesome, man. Thank you.
Well, I attracted you all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll get this listed on Team Prosperity too. So, and then maybe we can do too. Like, I'll start trying to help too, Lisa. I know you were talking about doing like an ad tag message group. So if when if you do that, let us know. And we'll start giving you stories and stuff to put in there too. So
We need to come up with a name for that. We need to all brainstorm and come up with a name for that group.
What would you guys like
Anybody
to call
got
it?
somebody else?
Juicy news.
Juicy news.
The juice is loose, baby.
Jesus, Liz.
Because that's a big selling point. That will really help because Lisa does a phenomenal job with
Yes.
ad tag message.
She's doing something with one of my things that I'm doing. It's awesome.
Well, the power of the ATM group, the ad tag message group, and coming up with a name for ourselves is that we can market that on social media without, again, out having to talk about Juice Plus. And clearly, we're all proud of Juice Plus and what we have and what it does. But we know what happens, especially in network marketing. People just go to Google and the Google Juice Plus. Oh, I know what they do. We want from us. So if we can bring them inside of a community that's branded the way that you want it to be, something about, whatever, and we can give value and recipes and tips and detox stories and all these kinds of things in addition to dripping product information on them, and we can pull people in who are interested. It's a phenomenal way to market without actually using the term Juice Plus.
Let's do this. Can you guys just add some ideas into the Juice Plus, team page chat, right? Our on Messenger today, and let's just decide which one's the best, and we'll get rocking on it. Does that sound cool?
Lisa, I
That's
added
our
you to
homework.
that chat. I added
Awesome.
you to the chat already.
That's our homework for the day.
Yep.
Awesome. You guys are awesome. Have a blessed day, guys. Enjoy
I
your
know.
weekend.
I love this group. Thank y'all so
Me
much.
too.
Oh, what is this?
I don't even know. Hang 10.
Rock and
I'm in
roll.
Florida now. You guys
Oh,
gotta come
yeah.
down and check this place out,
My
man.
place, that's rock and roll, but
See, my mom's not leaving. She's actually here now. So
All right. Y'all have an amazing day.
I
You
guess.
too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.